It's time for another series on my channel, which I have actually done before. In this series, I analyze the characters within the Walking Dead universe, but this time, I'm also going to be doing the TV show characters, and where better to start than a character whose time on the show was cut immensely short because, you know, plot. So let's get into this description of Amy. If you guys do like these videos, please let me know who else you want to see a video like this on. I have a couple of characters that I'm really excited to make them on, particularly one of the St. John dairy within the game universe. Let's start with a bit of backstory about Amy. Amy was born in 1986 and is 12 years younger than Andrea, which caused some tension between the sisters. Andrea left home when she went to college and remarks that she did not spend enough time going back home to see her sister. Amy was at college in Atlanta and was returning from a trip with Andrea when the outbreak started, and the sisters were rescued by Dale. And now for Amy's time in the show. Amy was introduced in the first episode when Rick was radioing out to find nearby people. She was watching the radio but could not get it to work, and as such, Shane had to take over. One thing that is worth mentioning is that Amy is still quite naive and almost a little bit childish. Andrea grabs a mermaid necklace because Amy likes mermaids, which is an element of her childish nature. The next major part Amy has in the second episode is where she asks Lori how to tell whether mushrooms are poisonous. Now, granted, Lori's answer is not the best, but let's discuss the connotations of this question. Amy, as previously established, is quite childish and naive, but this also shows her lack of survival skills, which is actually built upon throughout her time on the show. She does not understand how to survive in a world like this, and therefore, she was basically doomed in the apocalypse from day one. Amy also does not understand survival mentality. Shane is very against people leaving the camp for unnecessary means, so when T-Dog radios that they are all stuck in a department store, Amy insists they go after them. This is also somehow an element of bravery and clear love for her sister, but it does also make you realize that this love is probably not reciprocated in the same sort of way from Andrea to Amy. However, Andrea does eventually have a lot of guilt towards how she was with her little sister, and I think Amy is trying a bit too hard to make up for lost time with Andrea. Then we have arguably one of the best episodes of the season, Vatos. This episode again shows how different Amy and Andrea actually are, with them discussing fishing trips with their father. That was really hard to say. One important thing to note about this entire conversation is that when Andrea went fishing with her dad, they were fishing to eat, so Andrea was catching the fish and keeping them. However, this paralleled Amy, who was throwing them back into the water. Amy and Andrea, despite being related, are incredibly different people. Amy is emotional, loving, and naive, whereas Andrea is a bit cold, scared, and hostile. Amy was, I believe, used in the show to showcase that characters like this will never survive. Think of Beth. She was very, very similar to Amy in season 2 and 3, and they had to change her character to give her a more interesting arc in season 4 and 5. Then we have the ending of Vatos, where the camp is stormed by walkers late at night, while Rick, Glenn, T-Dog, and Daryl are away looking for Merle. When this happens, Amy is bitten by a walker, and obviously she dies. Eventually, she turns in Andrea's arms, and Andrea has to put her down. Amy's death ruins Andrea's character. This is mainly due to the fact that Andrea just wallows following this event and becomes incredibly boring and just irritating to watch. When you consider Andrea in the comic universe compared to Andrea in the TV show, this is a really good example. When I rewatched the show recently, I just felt so much cringe watching Andrea's character, especially after Amy's death. Andrea's downfall was the route they took after Amy's death, and I think if her reaction to Amy's death had been done differently, Andrea would probably be more like her comic book counterpart. Anyway guys, this was a brief analysis of Amy in The Walking Dead. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please let me know what other characters you want me to make these videos on. I do prefer doing smaller characters because they are all surprisingly important to the show, and I'm always finding information and details that I didn't know existed. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you later. Bye bye.